Herzlich willkommen zu unserem Hintergrundgespräch über die tschechische Luftfahrt- und Raumfahrtindustrie. Sie sehen hier neben mir bereits unseren Experten, Herrn Josef Kašpar. Er wird sich gleich selbst bei Ihnen vorstellen. Mein Name ist Roman Rauch, ich bin der Wirtschaftsdelegierte und ich werde mit Ihnen heute dieses Gespräch und mit Herrn Kašpar natürlich führen. Warum Tschechische Republik? Für viele läuft Tschechien eigentlich unter dem Radar, nicht nur im Bereich Luft- und Raumfahrt, sondern auch in vielen Wirtschaftsbereichen. Was Sie hier gerade sehen, sind die Exporte, die wir haben. 2022 waren es circa 21 Millionen Euro von Österreich nach Tschechien im Bereich Luft- und Raumfahrt. Es gibt sicher noch nebengelagerte Exporte, die hier nicht aufscheinen, aber die Summe ist nicht groß, wenn Sie sich vorstellen, dass wir in Summe über 7 Milliarden Euro nach Tschechien exportieren. Was noch dazu kommt, ist, dass Tschechien einiges zu bieten hat, was wir so auf den ersten Blick eigentlich gar nicht wissen. Wussten Sie zum Beispiel, dass Tschechien eins von knapp 10 Ländern in der Welt ist, das alle Komponenten, die es für einen Flugzeugbau braucht, im eigenen Land produzieren kann? Oder dass Österreich ja seine Jet-Trainer, die alten Saab 105, ersetzen wird und eine von 2 shortgelisteten Firmen dafür kommt aus Tschechien. Oder ganz aktuell, dass die österreichischen Eurofighter-Piloten ihre Missionen trainieren, und zwar in Simulatoren hier in Tschechien. Das alles und einige andere Dinge wollen wir Ihnen heute zeigen und auch darstellen, wie leistungsfähig die tschechische Luft-, aber auch Raumfahrtindustrie ist. Das Ziel des Webinars ist, Ihnen zu zeigen, wie leistungsfähig die Industrie ist. Das ist ein Startpunkt für uns, für einen neuen Schwerpunkt, den wir damit setzen wollen, weil die Exporte, die wir nach Tschechien durchführen, in keinem Verhältnis zum Beispiel zu Exporten nach Frankreich stehen im Bereich Luft- und Raumfahrt. Natürlich hat Frankreich hier eine wesentlich größere Industrie, aber trotzdem gibt es ja einiges aufzuholen. Wir wollen auch, das klingt vielleicht auf den ersten Blick etwas befremdlich, auch verwandte Industrien, die jetzt nicht ursächlich in der Luft- und Raumfahrt unterwegs sind, ansprechen, zum Beispiel aus dem Automotive-Bereich, Sensorikbereich und andere, um zu schauen, ob nicht diese Industrien auch hier in Tschechien für Luft- und Raumfahrt in einer oder anderen Form zuliefern können. Das besondere Ziel oder Hauptziel von uns ist natürlich, dass wir sie auf den Markt bringen und ihnen B2B-Kontakte vermitteln. Das dient heute mal als erster Schritt dazu. Es ist ein Teaser-Event. Es ist jetzt keine Einmalveranstaltung. Wir werden sicher dazu noch mehr machen, um sie an den Markt heranzuführen und zu zeigen, wie leistungsfähig die tschechische Luft- und Raumfahrtindustrie wirklich ist. So, genug der Einleitung. Wir kommen jetzt gleich, und da werde ich in Englisch umwechseln. Das restliche Webinar wird weiter auf Englisch sein. To our webinar. On the screen, you see the agenda, which is about information about the aviation industry. Then we touch into space matters. We talk about R&D. Then, of course, the Austrian Czech potential for cooperation and deliveries. We know that this exchange is never a one-way street, so it goes in both directions. And then we have a couple of Q&As. That's the gentleman who you see right beside me and who looks very relaxed. In fact, he is. He just told me that he's an artist or wanted to go into arts, but he went into aviation. So please, Mr. Kašpar, it's great to have you here. Please introduce yourself so that the audience gets a first glimpse of what your vast expertise is and where you come from.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be part of some knowledge flow between Austria and the Czech Republic in aviation and space. From my point of view, my whole life is focused on aviation and space, and both sides, from the research and industry. This is why this is not usual. But this is why I can be a president of Industrial Association, and I can be also the director of the research establishment focused on aviation and space. And for the better understanding of the field and better business preparation, information harvesting, I'm also active in different kind of advisory bodies in our government. And outside of our country, I am member of the different kind of boards of the associations. For example, ERA Association. This is the European Association of the Aviation Research Organizations. This is also European Association of Space Research Organization, and also in an international point of view, I'm a member of board of IFAR, what is International Forum for Aviation Research. All these things are important for the research, but at the same time, I'm member of the board of ASD. This is a European Association of the Space, Aviation, Defense and Security Industry. This is the second industrial leg. So I think I can talk with you about anything in aviation and space.
Thank you, Mr. Kašpar. Yeah, as you heard, Mr. Kašpar has an extremely wide experience, so please keep the questions coming. I'm pretty sure Mr. Kašpar has more answers than you have questions when it comes to aviation. Now, Czechia has become a powerhouse in the production of airplanes, mostly light airplanes, ultralights, but also for UAVs. How did this, commuter airplanes and also military airplanes, how did this expertise in the Czech Republic came about? What's the story behind it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a story longer than 100 years, because we were at the beginning of the aviation in the world. I would like to also mention that research organization, which we will be mentioned in the final stage of this webinar, is the third oldest research organization in aviation in the world. So in connection with industry, which was born in the beginning of the last century, step by step from the expertises in aerodynamics, strength of structure, materials, structure of different kind of the aircraft, we go through the ages, and after Second World War, we were selected in the east part of our countries. We were selected as a manufacturer, producer of the jet trainer aircrafts and commuter aircrafts. We were also experienced with the helicopters, but they were moved to Poland. So through these ages, we built step by step our heritage and our knowledge.
Okay, can you describe the industry a bit closer for us?
Mm-hmm. So today our industry has more than 120 companies. This is approximately 15,000 employees, more than $1.6 billion US as our annual power, and of course the aviation in our countries oriented to the export. More than 85% is coming outside from our country. You can see numbers historically calculated. So this is one mark of our quality airplanes and so on. Can we move to the next slides with the examples? Yeah, this is very important picture. L39NG. This aircraft was born in 60s, but every 10 years it was about a big modernization, and now the NG type is fully focused on 21st century with modern avionics and modern engines, very effective in the training of the pilots. And now we are producing this aircraft for different countries around the world for training purposes. Next example, next flagship of the Czech aviation industry is L410NG. This aircraft was also born in 60s, but the same story. modernization, because this is not only about the facelift. This is about the power. This is about the performance of the aircraft, which can fly around the world. This is about new materials, a new glass cockpit, new power. So this is never-ending story. Aviation is long-term business, and in these examples you can see that we can produce the aircraft more than 1/2 of the century. Next, yeah, this is about the sport aircraft. After Velvet Revolution, there was established a lot of companies which were focused on smaller aircraft, and now this is more than 10 companies which are very well known worldwide. For example, in the United States, we are playing the third main role in trade with the light sport aircraft. So really important part of our industry. Now, because we have the airplane, which is focused on the real preparation of the military pilots, we have also the training system, because a lot of activities are moved to the virtual reality, because it's cost effective. So our companies are working on this world in synthetic pilot training, and we are producing solutions which are using worldwide. Our important parts of industry, we can talk about the engines and propellers. We have two significant producers of jet prop, turboprop, and turboshaft engines with the experience. Today you can see these engines in the commuters, in agriculture aircraft, in drones, in small military aircraft, and so on. It's a really important part. To have some feeling from the complex structure of our industry, we cannot forget commuters in MROs. MRO is very, to say, cost important part of the life cycle of each aviation structure. So we have facilities for MRO of commuters, helicopters, business aircraft, and also the smaller aircraft which need MRO activities. This is our, to say, new part of our industry, or our association, ground technologies, because aviation is nothing without support from the ground. So we have companies which are focused on military and also civil solutions for reconnaissance, surveillance, and tracking of the aircraft, communication with the aircraft, and so on. This is probably also international cooperation. This is absolutely important, because not only own products are, to say, stars in the world, but close cooperation with bigger players to learn about new technologies, new possibilities. So you can see some examples where we can find the Czech-made products in aviation and also in space.
Super. Well, from this vast experience in aviation, let's touch upon space issues. Mm-hmm. Nobody would expect to be space an important issue in the Czech Republic. However, already in 2012, the EUSPA headquarters, which is the EU agency for the space program, started in Prague, was headquartered in Prague, and since then has grown ever bigger. Now, how did this influence the Czech space industry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very important. I would like to say that more than 15 years ago, our government made a smart decision to play a significant role in space business and space research. So the placement of European structures in Prague, in Czech Republic, are important for this main goal, which the Czech Republic can and want to play in the Europe. So we are really happy that we have EUSPA in Prague.
When you compare now the aviation companies and the space companies, which have popped up only in, as you said, in the past 10, 15 years, what are the biggest differences between them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, the aviation industry in Czech Republic is traditional. So we have very well structured big companies which are supporting the supply chain, dozens of smaller companies which are building parts and services for their own products. In space industry, it's different because it was starting with some aviation companies which wanted to play also a role in space. They have technologies, they have some part of space knowledge, but the main step to this space was with the project, concretely Swarm project. It was a European project, which was to say test program from the European Space Agency to try if the Czech companies are able to produce space qualified products. So in this project, we organized companies in the Czech Republic and learn a lot of things from the European Space Agency, from the rules, from the very specific needs for the usage of some products in space. And from that point, we built step by step all the Czech activities in the space, but the majority is based on small companies, startups, young companies which have some idea what we can do in space smartly and better than traditional companies. This is main difference.
Okay, thank you. And to which extent have they already been involved in some of the international space programs?
Yeah, I think it is hand in hand with our membership in the European Space Agency. This is the main approach and main information flow and focus on common European projects. So our companies are involved in research-oriented projects like Euclid mission, JUICE mission, but also industrially oriented. And in industry, I think that the biggest footprint is about the Ariane 6 program, because some parts of Ariane 6 are were developed in the Czech Republic and are produced in the Czech Republic. Also, different kind of deployers for Vega launcher and Ariane 6 launcher, and of course some manufacturing electronic activities in different kind of the programs, not only in Europe but also outside.
Super, thank you very much. Well, now I would like to touch on the issue of research and development.
Okay.
The Czech industry, not only in aviation and space, but also in general, has an issue with its business model. So up until now, Czechia was regarded as a workbench for some companies, also Austrian ones, also probably most likely in the space of aviation and aerospace. But this model doesn't work any longer. So the Czech industry has to not reinvent itself, but has to find new approaches. And of course, increasing research and development efforts and budgets are of the essence to make this step forward. How do the big Czech players and also the SMEs in the Czech Republic, how do they deal with this issue of increasing R&D efforts in the country?
You know, this is a never-ending story. It's about clear and deep cooperation between the research part of the world. So this is about Academy of Sciences, research organizations, universities on one side, and industry on the second side. There is a lot of political decisions which wanted to support building of the development departments in companies, because this is a nature to have own development department which is directly supporting our own products. This is a game for big players, for big companies, so they are really using own research and development capacities, and in some, to say, risky part of their development, they are motivating to use some public sources like universities, Academy of Sciences, or research organization. And this is limited. For small and medium enterprises, this is a must, because they don't have usually they don't have suitable amount of capital to invest into research and development, and this is the main game that they are using capacities in research organizations and universities to support their ideas, their products, and their services.
What are the main fields now where these R&D efforts are, where money and efforts are put into? Is it about materials? Is it about new processes? Where do you see the best, quickest developments?
It's everything together. I can say that during last 10 years, I saw that the majority of research and development activities were focused on software engineering, electronic automatization, and support of Industry 4.0 and so on. But during the last few years, it's significant that to have software solution and electronics is nothing without the complete structure. So now we are facing the new wave of the development that companies need also complex development, complex preparation of complex products with services around. So this is something what I feel as a change from the past. But frankly speaking, now the main topics in Europe, we can say about buzzwords, is artificial intelligence. Of course, this is main topic for newspapers, and absolutely main focus of all companies which need to be step ahead with their products, their technologies. Software, electronics, of course, but new materials, 3D printing, it's now fully supporting aviation structures. There was 10 years obstacle that this is not possible to use 3D printing in aviation, but now you can see 3D printed parts in aircraft. It's a reality.
Absolutely. Do you see that, I reckon that the Czech industry has enough sufficient facilities to be self-sufficient, enough testing and research facilities, or would it need, or would the Czech Republic have to have more?
You know, it's about efficiency. If we are talking about aviation, so each country which has the significant aviation industry, a significant producer, so they also build research and testing capacity. So in Czech Republic, we have VZLU, this National Research Center for Aviation and Space, and we have all necessary research infrastructure, wind tunnels, test halls, test chambers for the engines. So we have everything for what we need for our own national products. In space, this is a little bit different because this is a new industry in the Czech Republic, and this is growing rapidly during last few years. For that, we have some, to say, needs, test capacities, and other infrastructure like communication antennas and so on, which we need for now, not for the future. And if we are talking about the future, where we plan to build big satellites, probably we will use the infrastructure outside, because there is no many products per year which you can test every week or every month. So this is not effective.
Okay, well, this brings us to the Czech Aerospace Research Center, where you have been Director General for quite some years. Please tell us more what are the main tasks of the research center and what are your priorities in your own facility.
VZLU was established as a main supporter of the industry. So all Czech aviation products in the past were developed together with our research organization. This is very important because we are in close touch with the company, so we are able to speak the same language. But we can say that we are also an independent research organization, so we are looking to the future. We are analyzing, facing what will be important for the future of the aviation space, what can be interesting for our companies, how and where can companies move with their technologies and their knowledge. So for that, we defined two significant programs, our own programs, Aviation 2030 and Space 2030. In aviation, in this program, we are focused on urban air mobility and vertical takeoff and landing machines for the transport purposes. And in space, we are talking about the constellation of satellites for Earth observation, communication, and other needs, which, of course, it's mainly about the security of the country.
Okay. Well, now one interesting and, of course, for our audience, a very interesting point is talking about the mutual cooperation. We never know that all these efforts from one country to another are never a one-way street. They always go both ways. That's what we really hope for. Hope, for instance, that Austrian training jets will come from the Czech Republic, because this will enable a lot more business to come. But we don't know as of yet, because the decision in Austria has not yet been made. So now, apart from kind of normal cooperation possibilities, normal supplies, there are some special developments here in the Czech Republic which may probably facilitate some of the cooperation efforts between our countries. I'm talking here about that the Czech government recently has decided to buy 24 F-35 jet fighter planes. This generation, the most modern thing you can possibly buy. And 24 is quite a substantial number. In addition, the Czech government is just preparing the purchase of 2 Embraer C-390 transport planes. Austria just had made a decision that we will buy 4 of them. The Czech Republic will buy 2. And in addition, the European Union tries to enhance the collaboration between various countries, member states in the area of security and aviation through the European Defence Fund. And there are some calls coming up in the field of aviation. Austria is also becoming more active in this field. So given all these developments, where do you see the biggest chances or openings for cooperation where companies should look at?
I would like to start with some comments to the purchase of F-35 and C-390. It's for the Czech industry, it's an unbelievable situation, because in the past we were not part of negotiation, but in these two programs, we were the partner of Ministry of Defense in negotiation process, and we prepared a lot of very deep information for the decision. And our companies were involved in a very specific approach. We can call it industrial cooperation. And the partners like Lockheed Martin company and Embraer are very open for the discussion about the cooperation, not only in these direct programs, but also in other programs of the mentioned companies. So the fact that we were part of negotiation is the main importance of the role of the state and industry in the state. There is, of course, we have some agreements between companies and the Lockheed Martin or Embraer about the cooperation. And now these companies will build the cooperation outside their own needs, because capacities are open. So I believe that main contractors from the Czech side will look for the partners in the Czech Republic and also outside. So there is opportunity for Austrian companies to be part of some agreements between Czech companies and US and Brazil. This is working, so I can recommend the Austrian companies to contact either the association or our biggest companies which are involved in to ask them for the cooperation activities. Regarding EDF, European Defence Funds, it's the biggest opportunity for all industry in Europe, because there is a significant amount of the funds which we can use for development of products, services, development of our own, nature, environment in aviation and space. We are really active in European Defence Funds negotiation of the programs. We are part of some European projects, but there is no limitation. So in this field, we are also looking for partners, because in EDF there is, I think, minimum 3 companies with 3 different European countries. So this is really pushy for the cooperation outside of the border. So I see the opportunity for Austrian companies. If you have if you see the future with European Defence Funds, so please contact me. We can find partners in the Czech Republic and also in Europe for different kind of technologies which are supported from the European Defence Funds.
Thank you very much. This actually really brings us to the association you are heading as president, which also, as we just heard, may be and can be and should be, hopefully, a supporter or open at least some of the doors. I mean, we have to work and want to work ourselves in the Czech Republic, but at least if there are some open doors and there's some welcome, this will be of great help. Please tell us about your association which you're heading.
Mm-hmm. Association of the Czech aerospace industry has a long history from the 1992, I think. Today we are representing more than 50 companies. As I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, more than 120 companies in the Czech Republic in aviation and space, and 50 from them are in our association. Yeah. The majority of the big companies is in our association. We have also other clusters and associations in aviation and space. So this is one, critical point, because we are really fragmented. But our association is building one voice, which we are using in front of our government, in our European activities, We are doing really deep lobbying in national and international level. We are building networking actions for our members and companies outside. We are building education together with our universities, and this is real support of the companies. More than 14 companies in this association are big companies. The rest is about the small and medium enterprises.
I think it's important to say that there is, in the Czech Republic, usually there are sort of no mandatory structures. So, as you said, the industry was quite fragmented when it came to the representation vis-a-vis the government, the state. And so your association is by far the biggest and the most influential.
Yeah.
That was also one of the reasons for us why we started with aviation, focusing on aviation kind of only now, because this merger with another association has taken place last year, as I understood. So now we have structures in place which can really support you in Austria when entering the Czech market better than before. Of course, we are talking to Austrian companies. Can foreign companies without a subsidiary or a daughter company in the Czech Republic, can they become a member of the association? Is it possible, or?
It's not possible, because in our name you can see the Czech aerospace industry. So the main importance is that it must be Czech company.
Okay.
Yeah, with the business in the Czech Republic.
Okay. Okay. Well, as I said at the beginning, this first information session today, this event, should lead us to B2B contacts at the end of the day. I think it's in both our interest. And your association is planning a big event next year. Can you give us more detail about this?
Yeah, I can, of course. We found that the aviation industry is really strong in the Czech Republic, but we are not very well known by some PR activities. So we prepared some structure for next May. We are talking about the Czech Aviation Week, and in this week we will focus our activities in aviation in Prague and also in regions. We have 3 pillars. One is Czech Aviation Forum, which will be internationally oriented. We invited our partners from the United States and from the Brazil, because it's usual, because the acquisition of the aircraft. And we will open this platform also for our partners and our neighbors from the Europe, because we will talk about the aviation as a whole, aviation as a business, aviation as a part of partnership. The second leg of this action is focused on exhibition of the Czech products. So we are talking about some airfield close to Prague or inside Prague, where we will display our aircraft, our material vehicles, our engines, our propellers, also other parts which we are producing for the aviation. And the third part is regionally oriented. So we want in all Czech regions attract young people and also politicians to the support of the aviation, to plan future with the aviation. So it will be a lot of seminars, open doors in companies, and some other activities which will support our needs.
Super, thank you very much for this insight. From our part, as the Austrian Trade Commission, AußenwirtschaftsCenter here in Prague, we also plan, if we are allowed to, and if it's possible, to sort of participate at your event with a group stand, if possible. And that's towards our audience. We will inform you about this in due time. We have to talk internally about what the conditions are, what the prices are, etc., and how it is possible for us to participate. But it's our definite plan to join you in May of next year for this. I think it's a first of event in the Czech Republic, which hasn't been or hasn't existed so far.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, super. Thank you very much, Mr. Kašpar. So we have gone through quite a few questions, but as you can tell from Mr. Kašpar's vast expertise, we haven't even scratched on, we just have scratched on the surface. So there's much more to know and to find out about, but that's, I think, only possible in bilateral talks, inquiries with you back home. And of course, we're more than glad to establish contacts to Mr. Kašpar and of course to the Czech companies.
Yeah, I was following the chat and the emails we received beforehand, and we have questions about a lot of different topics. So let's not lose any time and dive directly into the questions. So, Mr. Kašpar, one question was, is there any similar product program in Czech Republic as we have in Austria for R&D, the Austrian takeoff program? Or where is funding for R&D coming from in Czech Republic? Are there any public-private funding possibilities?
Okay, this is one of my nightmare because I really envy Austria that you have the own program which is fully focused on aviation takeoff. We don't have this type of program in the Czech Republic. We have different sources which we can use for the industrial development. The main source is technological agency, which is preparing programs for the industrial support. But the programs are really general. So the aviation can be part, the automotive is part, the railway is part, and textile industry is part. So everything what we can support in the Czech Republic is part of this program. This is nothing about concrete goal, about concrete target which can support very smartly the aviation industry, unfortunately. So in this field, we are using very often structural funds. Our companies outside of Prague, because Prague is a rich region, so we don't have approach to these sources. But outside of Prague, our companies can use structural funds for support of new technology, support of penetrating of the market, support of their how to say, finalization of their own products, testing of the products, and so on. And I would like to also highlight European sources, because the funds, the main funds in Europe, we can talk about the Horizon Europe, where is also the aviation part. They are real sources for our activities in aviation and also in space, because there are financial sources outside of government. So it's highlighted that we can use our common sources in Europe in cooperation with our foreign partners. And this cooperation partnership is really supporting the positive development of our companies in quality issue, in some harvesting of new knowledge, sharing of knowledge. So this is really important, and I can say that the European programs are the most important source of our activities.
Now let's move from research to some specific parts of the industry. What would you say are the preferred materials and manufacturing processes in Czech Republic? And two participants asked more precisely what about additive manufacturing or injection molding? What is the importance here in the Czech industry?
Mm-hmm. As I mentioned during the webinar, these new technologies, we can talk about injection, we can talk about 3D printing, are little bit new in aviation industry. So our traditional producers are using these technologies, really now in small volume. Yeah, so this is also opportunity for the Austrian companies to show that they have a solution in these technologies, and to show it to our companies, to show what is the advantage and what is added value of these technologies. Of course, we have this type of companies also in the Czech Republic. We have 3D printers companies. We have other type of technologically oriented companies. But this is never-ending story. Yeah, and you need every time, every day, to push designers to use new technologies, to move brains from the aluminum alloys to composite structures. So this is real business and opportunity for all of us.
So if I understand correctly, there is an opportunity for Austrian companies in these fields,
yeah,
to start now. Okay, different part of the industry is the whole electronic industry. What would you recommend to a company who wants to get in touch with the players in this field in Czech Republic?
Mm-hmm. If we will talk about aviation, our industry needs only complex solution. I don't know if the Austrian companies are able to produce the complex solution for glass cockpits, for full electronic systems, for engines and so on. But if yes, so there is a place in the Czech Republic. The better is to talk about the space, because space is, it's mainly about the software and electronics, and every satellite is different than previous one. So there is a lot of opportunities for electronics companies in space, because we need electronics for satellites, we need for electronics for deployers, we need electronics for ground stations. So there is a lot of opportunities. Of course, we are all looking for the business. So all development, all steps in this field are based on financial sources and business cases, which we are building together with our companies.
Since we are already talking about complex products and solutions, there was one other question about quality control and assurance standards. What is typically demanded in the Czech industry?
May I add? I think there was also one question about counterfeiting products, which probably goes in the same direction a bit.
Yeah, aviation and space in the part which is controlled by European Space Agency is really based on very deep process which need to be established in the companies to prove that their products are able to be launched to the space, or to be able to fly in the sky. So there is a lot of regulations for this. If we are talking about the new technologies like 3D printing, this is absolutely new story, because each producer of the final product is thinking about different procedures which can be used for their safety needs. Yeah. So my recommendation is generally to talk directly with the producers and ask them for some quality needs, quality lists, because they are able, and this is our usual work, that they are doing audits in companies, they are talking about the concrete needs for each part for the structure. So this is not possible to answer in deeper detail.
And I guess anyway, the huge producers would have some kind of supplier verification system.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I would like to nevertheless talk also about the second part of the question, counterfeiting. Like, is the Czech industry concerned by or aware of problems with fake products? And are there any strategies or solutions that are widely used to avoid fake products or prove the origin of products?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I think like all industry, we are also facing the fakes in the world, and our experience is that there is a very limited power how to solve it, because in the final stage it's about the final users which can decide if they will use original part or fake part. And if we are moving from the Western countries to the rest of the world, so there is the much more dangerous to face this fake activities. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
I have one follow-up question about the R&D funding that we discussed before. One participant would like to know whether the funding sources you mentioned can be used for bilateral cooperation or common calls.
Sometimes I can say that in technological agency and also in Ministry of Education, Youth and Ministry of Education, we have the programs for bilateral or multilateral cooperation between the research organization or companies in the Czech Republic and the rest of the world. And so there is specific programs how to support this cooperation. But the main point is that the foreign companies, foreign research organization cannot use our national funding. So there must be a counterpart for the program in the country which will used by the companies. For example, in Austria, they need some program which will support your companies for the cooperation with the Czech Republic. We have this. So.
Another question that is very close to R&D are the goals in terms of weight and cost saving. How important are these two topics for Czech producers?
Absolutely, it's I think the main point of our activities, because if you want to fly effectively, so you need a light structure, because the rest of the weight can be used for the goods or for passengers which will pay for this. So we need light structures, of course, and the effectiveness of now, for example, in engines, power of aircraft, we are talking about electrical engines, about hybrid propulsion, so about the using of synthetic air fuels. So this is the main stream, because this is a future not only from ecological point of view, but also in cost of our products and cost of usage of these products.
Well, since we are already running out of time, I would like to finish this Q&A session by one question that is related to time. What are the usual timelines or lead time expectations in the Czech aviation industry? I mean, we always hear about the tight time frames in the automotive industry. Is it the same in aerospace?
I cannot say it precisely because I'm not fully experienced with automotive industry. I know it only from the newspapers and from TV. But it's about the number of pieces which you need to produce. And for example, the Czech aircrafts are based on some batches between 10 to 12 pieces per year. So there is no direct press to the lead time and to the support of this to say traditional pressures from the automotive. This is much more familiar with the quality.
We got one more question that I just have to ask. For the last 2 minutes, what would you give as a tip to get in touch with the Czech industry and to position oneself in the Czech market?
As I said, it's my recommendation is to contact our association, because we are playing the role as a coordinator or informational bureau for our industry, and we can recommend according to the technological maturity of the company, about according to the products which your companies have. We can recommend the partners in our industry very quickly, because we are the family of few companies.
Thank you so much for all these answers. We have still quite a lot more questions in the chat, but we will try to find a way, as my colleague said, to answer them after the webinar. With this, I would like to hand back to my colleague, Roman Rauch.
So we could only scratch on the surface of the aviation and space industry, but I do hope that you found some appetite in having a closer look at the Czech industry. And as Mr. Kašpar pointed out, he and his association is definitely first main point of contact. We'll of course support you as we are used to. If there are any issues, if there are any additional questions, please come to us. And of course, we are in direct contact with Mr. Kašpar. Now, back to German. Zurück ins Deutsche für den Abschluss des Ganzen. Herzlichen Dank, dass Sie so lange mit uns ausgehalten haben. Wir sagen Ihnen noch ganz kurz, oder zeigen Ihnen besser gesagt, was bei uns noch bevorsteht. Das finden Sie auf unserer Webseite, die hier eingeblendet ist. Wir haben seit kurzem einen generellen neuen Webauftritt. Hier sehen Sie eine Auflistung von Veranstaltungen, die kommen. Wir sind da in Tschechien sehr, sehr aktiv. Tschechien, vor allem auch Brünn, sind nicht umsonst oder der Veranstaltungs-Hotspot in ganz Mittel- und Osteuropa. Also Sie finden einiges bei uns auch zu ganz anderen Branchen. Und ja, dann bleibt mir nur noch übrig, dass ich mich ganz, ganz herzlich bei Ihnen bedanke, dass Sie so lange mit uns durchgehalten haben. Das Ganze ist, wie gesagt, ein erster Teaser, soll Ihnen wirklich Appetit auf mehr machen, und ich hoffe, Sie machen starken Gebrauch davon. Sie sehen ganz am Schluss noch unsere Kontaktdetails, falls Sie sie noch nicht haben, und wie drauf steht. Vielen Dank und let's keep in touch. Danke und auf Wiedersehen. Danke, Mr. Kašpar.
Auf Wiedersehen.